Nonz was just Gabia. Now, this is telling you why I changed up so much within the Nonz storyline, why I had to switch up what I thought was acceptable but wasn't. So, the original name from my manga was not going to be Nonz, it was going to be just Gabia. And Gabia's story goes like this. So his dad was the legendary warrior that saved everyone, but the great thing about him was he was fun-loving. He was everything that Kid Goku was, but he lacked guidance and he wasn't as nearly as strong as Goku. And he had a whole bunch of things that lacked within his character, but he had the literally best rough draft that I've had for a character. And Gabia was originally just gonna have super strength. He wasn't gonna have a multi-dimensional power. And the original rough draft was just Gabia. It wasn't Nonz, it was just Gabia. So Gabia was the original thing that I wanted to do before any of this was created. So Gabia started with not really a big crew, but Gabia literally didn't have many members, and he still had Sensei, but the main goal was to fight the almighty Zofio. And Zofio, instead of this Nonz timeline, which I made with Zofio is one of the main antagonists, Zofio was originally gonna be just someone that was there that held a grudge against Gabia's dad, because Zofio set out to kill Gabia's dad, but Gabia's dad was already better, this and that. So literally, Zofio orchestrates this plan to come kill Rogata. And here's what happens is Gabia originally was the manga that I made Tamdachi. Tamdachi is from Gabia and he is not originally from Nonz. So I forgot about Tamdachi because Tamdachi was literally just in Gabia. And the great thing about Gabia was he was so fun-loving. He was everything. It was back when I was One Piece heavy. You know that one opening where Luffy stretches his arm and he grabs onto his ship? I'm so copyright infringement that I literally made Gabia have super strength to a whole point where he punched the ground and created a shockwave that lifted him up the ground. He went like this and literally flew onto his ship. And I'm like, nope, copyright infringement. I was so crazy on One Piece back then. But it was so cool because the original rough draft of Gabia did have Tamdachi, it did have Zofio, but it was originally just a plain adventure anime. It was just gonna be an adventure anime where Gabia does this whole thing and he meets up with Zofio. And the great thing about that was it was nothing but adventure, and it was very, very, very good. The great part about that one is that it still has some characters that I'm saving from Nonz, but literally that is why I made a Tamdachi video, because he was there when I took out the name of Gabia. And literally, so Gabia Murioto was originally just Gabia. His last name wasn't even thought of until I thought about it in 8th grade. So this was the Murioto staff that I created back when I was in 8th grade when I was doing woodshop. And this right here is why the devil was forever in my head, but why I killed that devil, and I metaphorically speak of him in videos. So this chip right here is to let you know that I'm not perfect. This extra O with Murioto is obviously with 2 O's is how I couldn't take your stuff to criticism, and this staff means a lot to me because this was my trophy from 8th grade, back when I beat Geo, back when I did everything, is when I made this Murioto staff. And what I loved about Gabia was just how much effort I put into, how much I was in love, how much this and that. I had a heavy passion for it, but Gabia was just going to be, an adventure anime in the woods. And it wasn't going to be a city anime like how Nonz is. Nonz takes place in so many different locations, so many established with technology, modern day, and literally, Gabia was literally back in the times where we didn't have trains, we didn't have anything, we just had grass. And so Zofio was the villain, and the best part about this was he planned this whole thing. So Gabia's original thing was Gabia just wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps because his dad was the most badass guy ever, and he always wanted to be like his dad. So he trained with his friend so he could become the next hero. So at the end of the journey, when he comes to face Zofio comes up. He's like, Rogata, you haven't changed a bit. And worst of all, you're a midget. And so Gabia goes, I'm his son! And literally, Rugal is already dead. And that was the original script for Gabia before I even thought of Nonz. This was originally what Gabia was going to be because I was so inspired by all these anime. And literally, I just wanted to share with you guys that Gabia was the original rough draft of Nonz. So this is when, before Nonz, when it was just Gabia.